Vincent Hale never let a woman near his bedroom, yet the mansion shook the morning a maid was found sleeping in his arms. Staff whispered, his fiancée exploded, and the rule he built his life on cracked. No one understood how she got there, or why he defended her. What happened that night forced every secret he buried to crawl into the light. Before we go any further, we'd love for you to hit that subscribe button. Your support means the world to us, and it helps us bring you even more powerful stories. Now let's begin. Everyone in Vincent Hale's mansion learned the rule before they learned his name. No women entered his bedroom. Not maids, not decorators, not even his fiancée. The dark green door at the end of the west corridor stayed locked while new hires whispered about it over late-night tea. Vincent preferred rules to people. He moved through the house with steady distance, always half a step away. If a sleeve brushed his arm, his body flinched before his face went blank. As a boy, the first person who tucked him in was the one who hurt him. His nanny, praised by every adult, turned quiet nights into a nightmare. He still slept best with no one near his bed. Touch felt unsafe. Closeness felt like a trick. So he paid for distance. Staff earned good money as long as they kept things efficient and quiet. No hugs, no questions. No one on the West Wing after 10. The schedule in the kitchen functioned as law. The only person allowed near his private life was Olivia Ward. She looked right beside him at events, polished and calm in dresses he bought without blinking. Olivia knew why he avoided intimacy. She never argued about separate rooms, never pushed for more. Instead, she treated his fear like currency, trading patience for trips, jewelry, and influence. To outsiders, she seemed loyal. Inside the mansion, staff saw the cracks, jokes about his issues, the bored look when he backed away, the way she spoke about their wedding like a deal she could cancel. Vincent told himself this was fair. Men built out of damage did not get gentle stories. On a rainy Tuesday afternoon, the new maid arrived. Amara Lewis stepped through the service entrance with one scuffed suitcase and a cautious smile. Dark curls pinned back, uniform neat. She greeted the others quietly, eyes tracking polished floors and the long west corridor. The head of staff walked her through the rules. Work hard. Stay discreet. Do not disturb Mr. Hale. No one mentioned the bedroom rule. They assumed someone already had. That night, Amara unpacked in a small staff room that smelled of detergent and old paint. She folded clothes, lined up worn shoes, then sat on the bed until her breathing slowed. Sleepwalking. The word slid into her thoughts like an old warning. It had not happened in months. New city, new job. She told herself it would stay quiet and turned off the lamp. Above her, behind the locked green door, Vincent Hale sat alone in the dark, convinced his rules kept him safe, unaware that the woman who would cross his last boundary was already asleep under his roof. The house listened. The storm rolled in after midnight, flattening the garden lights and pressing rain against the windows. Most of the staff slept through it. Amara did not. Her body moved before her mind did. She sat up, eyes half open, face soft and unfocused. Her bare feet found the cold floor. Without a word, she opened her door and stepped into the dim hallway. The world around her blurred into harmless shadow. Anyone awake would have stopped her. No one was. She walked past the laundry room, past the framed oil paintings, straight toward the West Wing. The motion sensors clicked on in sequence as she crossed each section, pools of pale light chasing her down the corridor. At the end waited the dark green door no woman was meant to touch. Her hand closed around the handle. Vincent slept badly most nights. This one was no different. He drifted in and out, muscles tense, jaw tight, one ear tuned to every shift of the house. He heard the door open and snapped awake. Moonlight cut a faint line across the room. In that silver strip, he saw Amara. No makeup, no stiff posture. Just a tired young woman in an oversized sleep shirt, moving like she was underwater. She didn't flinch at seeing him. She didn't speak. She crossed the room, lifted the duvet with slow, clumsy fingers, and slid onto the mattress beside him. His chest locked. Every old memory lurched forward, sharp and loud. Skin weighed breath. For a second he almost shouted, almost grabbed her wrists, almost called security. Then her head settled lightly against his shoulder. Her breathing evened out. She smelled faintly of soap and starch, the same clean scent she left on folded shirts. No perfume, no alcohol, no heat of intention, just human warmth. The panic he expected never hit. Instead, something stranger happened. His body stayed tense, but his mind quieted. The room felt less huge. The ceiling felt lower, nearer, like the world had moved closer without crushing him. One long breath left his lungs, then another. He did not move her. Slowly, as the storm faded, his arm shifted on its own and rested along her back, careful, not trapping. His hand stayed open, fingers hovering above fabric, as if ready to pull away if she stirred. She didn't. By the time the first hint of morning brushed the curtains, they were still there. Him awake, her asleep. The rule that built his life broken by a woman who didn't even know she'd crossed it. At 8 sharp, the breakfast tray climbed the stairs out of habit. James knocked twice. No answer. He unlocked the door, stepped inside, and stopped so fast the younger maid behind him nearly crashed into his back. On the bed, Vincent Hale lay fully awake, eyes steady. Amara Lewis slept pressed against his side, his arm curved around her like a shield. The tray rattled. Downstairs, gossip had just found its biggest story. By the time the tray settled on the table, 3 people had seen them. By lunch, the entire mansion would know it all. By noon, the whispers had a pulse of their own. They slipped through stairwells, curled around doorframes, and settled in the kitchen like steam. She was in his bed. He held her. Like he meant it. How is she still alive? Amara felt every stare as she moved through the mansion. Her hand stayed steady, but her chest tightened each time voices dropped around her. She kept her eyes on her work, folding linen slow enough to control her breathing. She remembered nothing from the night, only waking in a bed that wasn't hers, the expensive sheets, Vincent's steady gaze, and her own voice cracking as she apologized. He had stood in front of her like a shield and said she wouldn't be punished. The staff didn't believe it. They waited for the fallout. The real trouble arrived at 1:17 p.m. Olivia Ward stepped through the double doors wearing a white coat and a smile that could slice glass. She didn't wait for staff to announce her. She marched straight down the main hallway, heels hitting the marble like thrown stones. She found Amara in the library dusting shelves. "So you're the little housemaid who got lost in the dark." Her voice was sweet, but her eyes were cold. Amara straightened. "Ma'am, I don't want any trouble." "Oh, trouble is already here," Olivia whispered, leaning closer. "Women like you ruin decent men. You think slipping into his bed makes you special." Amara flinched. Olivia caught it and smiled wider. "You'll be gone by tonight." Vincent entered before Amara could respond. He saw Olivia's posture. He saw Amara's shaken breath. "What are you doing?" he asked, voice low enough to quiet the room. Olivia turned with a practiced pout. "Darling, I'm fixing your mess. She needs to go." Vincent studied her slowly, expression unreadable. The staff lingered at the library door, pretending to clean while listening hard. "She stays," he said. Olivia blinked. "She stays? After what she pulled?" "She did nothing," Vincent replied, "and she's under my protection." The sentence rolled through the house like a dropped chandelier. Olivia's face cracked. "You're choosing her over me?" "I'm choosing myself," he said. "This engagement is over." Silence gripped the hallway. A guard shifted. A maid gasped. Even Olivia's breath hitched. She laughed once, sharp. "You're throwing your future away for a maid." Vincent didn't blink. "Leave the keys. Leave the ring." She threw the ring on the carpet and stormed out. heels stabbing the floor all the way to the exit. When she disappeared, Vincent turned to Amara. She stood frozen, hands trembling against the duster she refused to drop. "You're safe," he said quietly. The staff didn't miss the shift in his tone. Not clipped, not distant, soft. Amara nodded once, though her knees felt weak. She had walked into the library expecting humiliation. Instead, she watched a billionaire end a 3-year engagement because someone had spoken to her like she was disposable. The gossip changed instantly. He defended her. He ended everything for her. He actually cares. The mansion had a new story now, and it revolved around the maid who never asked for any of this. And Vincent, for the first time in years, seemed unburdened. The mansion calmed on the surface, but something new moved underneath it. A quiet pull between Vincent and Amara that everyone sensed before they admitted it themselves. He passed her more often now. Not by accident. Not randomly. He lingered near rooms he never checked before. Amara felt it every time he entered a space. The air shifted first, then the soft pressure of his attention. She tried to stay focused, but her hands betrayed her. She polished the table twice. She refolded towels she had already folded. By day 3, Martha caught her staring at a window instead of dusting it. "He trusts you," Martha said, voice low. "You can breathe, child." Amara nodded, though her pulse thudded in her neck. She wasn't afraid of losing her job anymore. She was afraid of how much she noticed him. One evening, Vincent found her in the greenhouse arranging fresh-cut stems. Warm lights hung overhead, making her skin glow against the rows of plants. "You like it here," he said. She looked up. "It's peaceful." He stepped closer, slow enough not to startle her. "I'm sorry for what Olivia said to you." "You already protected me," she replied. His gaze flicked across her face, studying the calm she worked hard to hold. "No one should speak to you the way she did." For a moment, neither moved. The hum of the greenhouse fans filled the silence. A pot dripped water onto stone. Amara's fingers curled lightly around a stem, grounding herself. "You didn't have to end things because of me," she whispered. Vincent shook his head. "I ended it because it was already dead. You just helped me see it." The words landed harder than he intended. Amara looked away, heat gathering in her chest. Later that night, he knocked on the doorframe of the laundry room where she sorted clothes. The hum of machines filled the space. She glanced up, surprised. "Can we talk?" he asked. She wiped her hands on a towel, unsure whether to stand straighter or step back. Her voice softened. "About what happened?" He nodded. They walked into the quieter hallway. Vincent's shoulders seemed tense, not in anger, but in vulnerability. "When you slept beside me," he began, "I didn't feel the panic I expected. I felt still. I haven't felt that since I was a child." Amara inhaled sharply. She didn't speak. She let him continue. "My nanny hurt me," he said. "It changed everything. I never felt safe sleeping near anyone again. Until you." The hallway held the confession like a fragile thing. Amara's voice was barely above a breath. "I'm sorry you went through that." He nodded once, jaw tight. "I never told anyone. Not even Olivia." Amara stepped closer, not touching, just enough for him to feel her presence instead of the cold air. "You're not broken," she said. "You just needed someone who doesn't take advantage of your fear." His eyes flicked to hers, something raw in them. For the first time, Vincent Hale reached out, not to grab, not to control, but to test his own courage. His hand hovered near hers, unsure. Amara saw the hesitation. She slid her fingers into his lightly, offering contact without pressure. He closed his eyes for a brief second, letting the warmth settle into his bones. From the other end of the hallway, a pair of maids paused their gossip mid-sentence. One whispered, "He's different with her." The other replied, "He finally looks human." They were right. That night, Vincent didn't feel like the man locked behind a rule. and Amara didn't feel like the maid who drifted into danger. They stood between fear and